Hello everyone. So today I am going to begin with this History NCERT series. I will be covering all the books of the NCERT from class 6 to 12 along with all the important subjects, topics that I can cover. Okay. So beginning with the chapter 1 of the 6th class NCERT, what, where, how and when. So guys, see, we are going to learn the important points given in this chapter. I am going through the book as we have seen that it has been very important to go through the NCERT. So it is not that you will take a standard book like only an ancient history book and your history will be covered. No, we have to go through the NCERT, but there are some ways to cover the NCERT. So beginning with here, the first which we can see that the important is first is this, that Rashida question is about how Rashida sat reading the newspaper. Suddenly her eyes fell on a small headline, 100 years ago. How she wondered, could anyone know what had happened so many years ago? So here it is showing that Rashida questions the history. Okay, and it goes on. Now here there is a point that what can we know about the past. So it is showing about our past, living life, the way we live and all. Next, coming to where did people live. So this is important as per UPSC. Now see here the point which is mentioned, that it is given about Narmada. Okay, so here river Narmada becomes important for us. So now how to read for UPSC. So here now we have to read about Narmada. So just go to Google and search Narmada River UPSC. Okay, go to the images. Now you can see here is the image. So first idea we got that Narmada originates from the Amarkantak plateau. The next is it is situated between Vindhyan range and Satpura range. These are the two main important facts. That is, it is originating from the Amarkantak plateau. It is situated between the Vindhya range and the Satpura range. Now coming to more detailed fact, UPSC tributaries left and right, because in prelims it has been seen that these questions are prominent. That is, what is the eastern side, what is the western side tributary of this rivers like Narmada and all. So we will search up a little about the eastern and the western tributaries. So here I got a image like the major right bank tributaries of Narmada are Hiran, Orsang, Barna, Kolar. The major left bank tributaries are Barnar, Banjar, Sar, Sakkar, Kundi, Tawa. So now return to the PDF that we were reading, the NCERT. So here now we have some ideas about Narmada. Like we can say that it is originating in the Amarkantak plateau. Okay, Amarkantak plateau. It is situated in between Vindhya and Satpura, and we can also remember that it has some left and right bank tributaries like Hiran, Orsang and all. Okay, now so this was the first. Now here what is mentioned about Narmada, let's see. So people have lived along the banks of this river for several 100,000 years. Some of the earliest people who lived here were skilled gatherers, that is, people who gathered their food. They knew about the vast wealth of plants in the surrounding forest and collected fruits and other forest produce for their foods. They also hunted animals. So from this line, we if you have earlier studied about ancient history, you would be knowing that in the Paleolithic phase, in the Mesolithic phase, so people were considered as what? So people were considered as hunters and gatherers. So this line indicates that phase, okay, that on the banks of Narmada people used to reside, and here a way of living, what was that? So it was hunters and gatherers, okay, hunters and gatherers. Next, now the next is, now find the Suleiman and Kirthar hills to the northwest. Okay, to the northwest. Now see here, the image has already been given. We have the Suleiman and the Kirthar hills. Suleiman and the Kirthar hills. Okay, and you can see here that it is in the range of Pakistan province. Okay, now this one. Okay, so this is the Suleiman and Kirthar. Coming to the next, so what is given here? See, some of the areas where women and men first began to grow crops. Okay, so now we can know that Suleiman and Kirthar hills were among the regions which were first to grow the crops like wheat, barley. So about 8,000 years ago are located here. People also began rearing animals like sheep, goat and cattle and lived in villages. Okay, so here we can know that, so in the western region, what was the fact we derived from here were, first is crops were grown. Which crop? Wheat and barley. The next is, we derived that domestication of animals were also, the evidence of domestication of animal were also found here. Okay, next, now look at the Garo hills to the northeast and Vindhyas in the central India. Okay, so first we have already seen the Vindhyas. Okay, Vindhyas, Satpura, in between there is a Narmada river. So coming to the Garo hills, so if we want to know some in detail, as it is UPSC, you know, we have to go each and every topic in detail. So Garo hills, now just search Garo hills UPSC. Okay, so see this, so here you can see the image. Okay, so it opened. Now Garo hills, you have Khasi hills and nearing the Jaintia hills. Garo, Khasi, Jaintia, and you can see the Brahmaputra flows on the top, on their northern side, and this is the structure. And in the right side you can also see the states, that is Nagaland, Manipur and Mizoram. We have Patkai Boom, Naga hills, Mizo hills. So let's take a little more detail. Like this we have to read, okay, for UPSC. Now, and here another, you can see an image how Tista river joins Brahmaputra river. You can see it from this image. Okay, so this is the way we have to derive in detail everything. Okay, next, now coming to the next page. Okay, so here the more this map, we have to learn it very precisely as it is UPSC. So we have to learn, that is we have to learn each and every detail of every river. That is, we have to learn about the Indus river system, we have to learn about the Ganga river system, the Brahmaputra river system, the Narmada river system, Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri. Okay, so all these river systems we will learn, but after a period of time I will come to these topics in detail. So let's cover first this chapter now. Okay, so here what was the ending? The Garo hills. So these were some of the areas where agriculture developed. The places where rice was first grown are to the north of Vindhyas. So the places where rice was first grown to the north of Vindhyas. Okay. So these were the places where agriculture developed and places which are grown at the north of Vindhyas. So the agriculture grown in the we saw the Garo Hills region. It is written that, and in the Vindhyas, on the north of the Vindhyas, we will notice that there were places where rice was first grown. So just go to the Google and search. Rice was first grown in which place of India? Just write UPSC in the side. Okay, so let's see now. Go to the all. Yeah, to the north of the Vindhyas. So detail. Okay, so we have first a detail, that is we here there is the earliest site is Lahura Deva, Uttar Pradesh. So here it is written Lahura Deva, Uttar Pradesh. So it is the first earliest site. It is considered, okay, as the first earliest site. And the most which we regularly used to hear is Koldiva. It is in Allahabad, UP. Okay, but here it is written according to ChatGPT that Lahura Deva, Uttar Pradesh is considered the oldest, surpassing earlier findings at Koldiva. That means now this is the recent discovery that Lahura Deva, Uttar Pradesh is the first site to of rice cultivation in India. Okay, so this can be a UPSC trap. It can be in the next year. So now just go to the PDF and you can take a note of it as well. I can say here, that is where it is, Lahura Deva. Okay, Lahura Deva. Now trace the river Indus and its tributaries. Tributaries are small rivers that flow into the large river. So what do you know what is a tributary? If anyone doesn't know, so we have a river. Any rivers, small rivers draining you to the main river is called as tributary. And the rivers which originate from the main river or at the old phase when the river distributes, that are called distributaries. Okay, so this is the main. These are called tributaries and this is called distributaries. Okay, so now trace the river Indus and its tributaries. Now see what is given here. So about 4,700 years ago, some of the earliest cities flourished on the banks of these rivers. So if you think, then what will be this? This is talking about the IVC, Indus Valley Civilization, because Indus River was the main area where the IVC civilization, that is the Indus Valley Civilization, flourished. The next is later about 2,500 years, cities developed on the banks of the Ganga and its tributaries and along the sea coasts. So what is this talking about? This is talking about the Vedic period, or we can say the latter Vedic period, and includes the we have the Magadha age. Okay, the Janapadas, that one. Okay, as it have its origin, or we can see it has been concentrated in the Ganges region. Okay, and as I have told you, this this entire Indus river system, Ganga river system, I will go through it very precisely in the upcoming lectures. So now let's complete this chapter. Okay, so next, look at the Ganga and its tributaries called the Son. So Ganga has a tributary named Son. So if you are learning it, then you should know that Son is a right bank tributary of Ganga. Right bank tributary of Ganga. Okay, this is the first fact. Then in ancient times, the area along the rivers to the south of the Ganga was known as Magadha, as I told you here, now lying in the state of Bihar. Its rulers were very powerful and set up a large kingdom. Kingdoms were set up in other parts of the country as well. Throughout, people traveled from one part of the subcontinent to other. The hills and high mountains, including the Himalayas, deserts, rivers, and seas, made journeys dangerous at times, but never impossible. So men and women moved in search of livelihood, as also to escape from natural disasters like floods or drought. Sometimes men marched in armies, conquering others' lands. Besides, merchants traveled with caravans or ships carrying valuable goods from place to place, and religious teachers walked from village to village, town to town, stopping to offer instruction and advice on the way. Finally, some people perhaps traveled driven by a spirit of adventure, wanting to discover new and exciting places. All these led to the sharing of ideas between people. So why I am learning in this detail these paragraphs? Because we never know where there will be a little small line and it can be a UPSC trap. Okay. So now also see this one. Maybe it will be having some interesting facts. So this is a map of South Asia, including the present countries of India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan and Sri Lanka, and the neighboring countries of Afghanistan, Iran, China and Myanmar. South Asia is called a subcontinent. See here, South Asia is often called a subcontinent because although it is smaller than a continent, it is very large and is separated from the rest of Asia by seas, hills and mountains. So this can also be a question, that is South Asia called a subcontinent? So yes. Is South Asia called a continent? So you can say no, it is a subcontinent. It has been mentioned it is a subcontinent. Don't just think that it is a continent. Okay, don't fall into the trap. It is a subcontinent. And why it is subcontinent? Although it is smaller than a continent, it is very large from the rest of the Asia and separated by seas, hills, mountains. Okay. Next. Why do people travel nowadays? Look at map 1 once more. This is the map 1. Okay. Looked. Okay. Now. Hills, mountains and seas form the natural frontiers of the subcontinent. While it was difficult to cross these frontiers, those who wanted could and did scale the mountains and cross the seas. People from across the frontiers also came into the subcontinent and settled here. These movements of people enriched our cultural traditions. People have shared new ways of carving stone, composing music and even cooking food over several hundred of years. So there is nothing important in this. We can skip it. Now, names of the land. So two of the words we often use for our country are India and Bharat. So it is a very important line. India, that is Bharat. So already you would have seen in many reels, many trending videos that a question has been asked in the interview that India and Bharat are the same. So yes, India, that is Bharat. We have in our article 1. Okay, India, that is Bharat, is a union of states. So two of the words we often use for our country are India and Bharat. The word India comes from the Indus called Sindhu. So you should remember it, Sindhu. And what is this Sindhu? Sanskrit. Remember it. Okay. Then find Iran and Greece in your atlas. The Iranians and the Greeks who came through the northwest about 2500 years ago and were familiar with the Indus called it the Hindus or Indos. So who called Hindus or Indos? The Iranians called Hindus or Indos. Okay. Hindus or Indos. And the land to the east of the river were called India. Next, the name Bharata was used for a group of people who lived in the northwest and who are mentioned in the Rig Veda. The earliest composition in Sanskrit dated to about 3500 years ago. Later it was used for the country. So here what this paragraph explains. So there are two names of a country and both have their sources, how they derived, how these names are derived and all. Now here it is written that find Iran and Greece in your atlas. So let's go for it. Iran, UPSC. Images. Okay. See Iran. What is its location? Okay, so pardon me for the noise in the background. Now see, Iran is surrounded by Pakistan, Afghanistan, Turkmenistan, Azerbaijan, Armenia, Turkey, Iraq, then Persian Gulf. And Persian Gulf through Strait of Hormuz connects to Gulf of Oman, which connects to Arabian Sea. So this is the main important fact you have to remember. That is, Iran is surrounded by Pakistan, Afghanistan, Turkestan. Thik? Okay. And next is Armenia, Azerbaijan, Turkey, Iraq, and Persian Gulf, and in the southern side, and Caspian Sea in the northern side. This is the main fact. Next, as we see Iran, we have to search for Greece. Now Greece. Let's see Greece. Okay, so here. So Greece, we have to take a more detailed map. Here, yeah. Greece. So Greece, we can see that here is the Mediterranean Sea. We have Libya and Egypt in the bottom, Mediterranean Sea above them. Then we have Greece, and here in the left side of Greece we have Ionian Sea, and in the right side we have Aegean Sea. Okay, and as we cannot clearly see which country borders Greece. So just type country bordering, enter all. Yeah, so we have Albania, North Macedonia, Bulgaria, Turkey. Okay, Albania, North Macedonia, Bulgaria, Turkey. Okay, next Albania, North Macedonia, Bulgaria, Turkey. Now go to the image. Yeah, so here is Greece. See, Albania, okay, Macedonia, see the line, okay, Bulgaria, and here is Turkey. These are the countries bordering Greece, and the Ionian Sea, Aegean Sea, Mediterranean Sea. Okay, now let's see if we have any more details about it. Okay, yeah, so Ionian Sea connects to the Adriatic Sea. As you can see, beside in the left side of Greece we have Ionian Sea. It connects Adriatic Sea. Okay, and if you want some more detail, then write strait joining Ionian and Aegean. Ionian, and which sea it was? Adriatic Sea. Sorry, pardon me. And Adriatic Sea. Which state joins it? Okay, so click all. Yeah, Strait of Otranto. Strait of Otranto connects Adriatic Sea with Ionian Sea. Okay, so this was all the details we could learn from Iran and Greece. Now again come to the PDF. Okay, so this much for this video, as it is getting longer. In the next video I will be covering the entire chapter. I will complete this chapter. Okay, so thank you guys.